Hi Virgo, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your October 2017 tarot reading with possible other oracles and if needed, and some astrology, real quick astrology. So Virgo, you have in your constellation at the moment, let's see, Venus is in your constellation until the 15th, which is a Sunday, and then it moves into Libra. You also have Mars in your constellation. It will remain in your constellation through the 23rd, I think, right? The 23rd? Yes, the 23rd, Monday. And then it moves into Libra as well. So Mars is always kind of chasing Venus in this situation. What else have we got? The North Node is in Leo. It's in retrograde. There's only about 4 days total in the month of October that the North Node goes direct. So most of the time it's retrograde. So it's still in the process of revisiting old concepts that we were brought up with so that we can refocus our intentions collectively on our higher goal. What else can I tell you? Anything else in your constellation? I don't think so. We had and I'm beyond this at this point, but we had a full moon. It was on the 5th, and it was in Aries. So our new moon will be on the 19th, and that will be in Libra. And I'll do a reading for that as well. I think, oh yeah, your ruling planet Mercury is currently, where are you, Mercury? Mercury moves a lot. It's in Libra between the 1st and the 18th, and then it moves into Scorpio. And another big move is Jupiter is moving from Libra into Scorpio. Actually, that happened on the 10th, right? I think Jupiter. Did you go to Scorpio on the 11th? Excuse me. Chiron is still retrograde in Pisces. Neptune is still retrograde in Pisces. Uranus is still retrograde in Aries. And of course, the sun is in Libra at this point, heading into Scorpio in the middle of the month. So, with your ruling planet being Mercury and it being, what did I just say it was in? Short-term memory. In Libra and then in Scorpio. So that's going from relationships to kind of going to the underworld, going into reflection and thought about those things that are the deeper part of us, those things that are subconscious that shape us, but we don't always talk about openly. So those are things like death, sex, family dynamics from long ago. And Pluto is now direct as of the 28th, I believe, of September, which is good. I mean, it's in Capricorn, but it will be, no, excuse me, it's in Sagittarius, but it will be heading into Capricorn for the winter solstice. So exciting things happening. I'm going to use the Thoth deck for your reading, or the Tahuti deck. And what we'll do is I think it's just a Celtic cross spread is good for all the Virgos out there. So, Holy Hecate, Cosmic Soul. What does Virgo need to know? What does Virgo need to know for October 2017 with Mercury in Libra and then moving into Scorpio after the mid of the month? Mutable sign, Virgo. Holy Hecate, Cosmic Soul, what messages do you have for Virgo, October 2017? So adjustment in reverse, which is the Justice card. So you feel as though some injustice has been done to you. The Hebrew letter attribution to this is lamed, which is an ox goad. In other words, something that is used, a tool that is used to move what would seem to be an unmovable object. And whatever trials and tribulations you're going through right now, they feel as though they're really, really not moving. It feels as though it's unjust, but remember, in the process of life, in our evolution, everything really is just, it just feels unfair. But when you look at the big scheme, if you think of reincarnation and things like that, everything really ultimately is fair. Okay, the energy around this is the Knight of Wands. This would be a Leo energy. Knights in the Tahuti or Thoth deck are the same as the Kings in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And that energy is a fixed fire energy, which would be a Leo. So there's either a Leo that has something to do with this injustice, or a Leo vibration, something to do with a Leonian. It could be that it happened when the sun was in Leo. It could have something to do with the North Node being in Leo. But really, when we're talking about court cards, we're talking about people. So it seems to me that there's some injustice that has something to do with a Leo energy. Either they have obscured your ability to obtain justice, or they're the reason for the injustice that you're feeling, or they could be the person fighting for the justice. But there's definitely a key player here is a Leo or Leonian energy. Recent past is indolence in reverse. So that's good. Indolence is the Eight of Cups. Crowley called this the morning after without there having been a night before. So in reverse, this means you're losing. You are, in the past, there has been a feeling of, stagnation. This is Saturn in Pisces, not a great placement. Saturn is the planet of rules and law and structure and the four elements and the five senses and the manifested world as we know it in the three-dimensional world. And in Pisces, it's not well placed, it's lazy, it's stagnant, it doesn't move. So, but in the past, there's been this stagnation, but you're moving away from that. Now, the basis for this, the foundation, is the Magi. This is a Mercury card. Card is ruled by Mercury, and of course you are also ruled by Mercury. So the foundation for this really is that you have, because it's a major arcana and you've got two of them so far, this feeling that you have at the moment of injustice that seems stuck. Again, the ox goad. You're goading. You're trying to goad a situation which feels immovable, but it's movable, and you have the tools available to you. The Magi, or the Magus, this is basically the magician in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. He's got everything, or she have everything that they need at their disposal. They've got fire, they've got, in the way of wands, they've got pentacles or coins or discs, they've got water, they've got air, and they've got knowledge. The caduceus over his head with the two serpents indicate a wisdom. So you have actually what it takes to move beyond, to get this ox moving, right? This immovable situation that feels quite unjust, that again has something to do with the Leo. You have everything that you need to take action, and you've moved beyond sort of a stagnant period, a period where you were stuck. I think that's a good way to put it. But you're moving beyond that. You're letting go of that dense, perhaps it's fear that ruled you, but it really feels like it was karmic. Again, we're talking with two major arcana here, one of them being justice, which is ultimately about karma. And you're releasing whatever this density was. So you're getting your mercurial energy back. So this is you actually right here. You're the foundation of this. So you'll make this, you'll definitely be able to goad this ox away. You'll be able to move things along for yourself. We have the Knight of Discs, another slow-moving energy in reverse. This would be, again, the Virgo. The Knights are kings in the Tahuti or the Thoth deck, and it's in reverse. So again, this feeling of stuck is moving along. It's creeping along. So this goad you're trying to move your oxen with, so to speak, or you moving away from this feeling of injustice, this situation that's unpleasant right now, it's actually moving. It's budging ever so slowly, but it's happening because you've got the goods. You've got what it takes. Near future. The Prince of Discs. So the Prince of Discs would be kind of like the Knight of Discs in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And this would be, oh, I'm sorry, that would be the Taurus. And the Prince of Discs, this would be you. This would be Virgo. So this is you actually moving forward. He is the slowest moving knight, so this kind of goes back to this feeling of injustice about things moving slowly. And there's some kind of Leonian energy around it, but again, it could be, it usually is a person. But again, you are moving away from this slow moving energy. I apologize, I got this backward. This is the Taurus card, which is a fixed energy, a fixed sign, and it's in reverse. It's a very slow moving sign. So this is the only knight actually that's standing still. So it's very slow moving energy, but you as Virgo having that mercurial, that being ruled by Mercury, let me see if there's some indication of that here. Well, no, I had that right the first time. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is you. This is the Virgo card. You're moving away from feeling dense. You've got everything that it takes. This is also you. This is your major arcana, Mercury and the Magus, and this is you moving. This is you having what it takes to move forward, having all the tools at your disposal to move this ox, to get things moving in the direction that you want. And you are moving away from sort of an old, dense feeling. And now, again, this particular knight is now on a chariot. This is the Taurus card, and this is moving forward. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is actually going to be going into Libra, which is also Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Libra also rules Venus. So when Venus leaves your sign and moves into Libra, where she's at home, she tends to be obviously happier there because that's like family. But also, it means she's moving things along. She's able to express herself, whether that has to do with love. Again, this feeling of injustice could have something to do with a Leo that you love. So, yeah. A Leo that you love, and it feels like you're stuck in a situation, but the stagnation of the past, and the old, stuck, maybe fearful, the lower octave of Virgo tends to be over-analyzing, oh, what's the word? Critical. Not critical, yeah, critical in a bad way, but also being hypercritical of a situation. So this indolence, this non-movement could have been your nature, the low octave of your nature as Virgo, which can be frightened, it can be over-analytical, afraid to actually take action and make a move. But here you are with the foundation of this, which is again you on a major arcana, and we are talking about a major arcana event here. It could be a life love, it could be a life lesson that involves a Leo or a Leonian energy, but you have everything that it takes. You're the Magus, you have everything that it takes to move things along, as this Taurian energy would indicate. And again, with Venus moving into Taurus where she's happier, things should be moving. Although they're not moving at this breakneck speed that would be appreciated considering you're not enjoying this uncomfortable situation. It is sort of a creeping along, a goading that ox along. It is happening. There is movement, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Okay, you. The moon. I just wonder if perhaps something's been kept from you, or you've kept blinders on it, is what I'm kind of thinking here. A lot of the reason that this has been slow moving had everything to do with this fearful analytical energy, overly analytical, overly critical energy, whether you're criticizing yourself, criticizing a situation, criticizing another. And it seems like once you took those blinkers off, once you took those blinders off in this situation and embrace who you are, completely capable with all the tools that you need, no need to be fearful, now something has actually been revealed to you. The light of the moon, it's no longer in shadow. The light of the moon is actually something that can be seen. Now remember, the light of the moon is not direct light. And I can understand why, you being hyper analytical, you would be careful of whatever this situation is. It's not direct light. So it's important that the moon would call you, again, another major arcana card here, that's 3. The moon would call you to use more than the 5 senses that you're used to using. As a mercurial energy, as an analytical energy, Virgo, very much about your motto is I analyze. So you're analyzing things constantly. I think the moon is kind of telling you here, since the overly critical and over analytical lower octave of your nature, Virgo, you're moving away from that as Venus moves into her home sign of Libra. You're making a move, albeit slow. I think you're being called here to rely more on that 6th sense, that I just sounded like Josh Wink remix. That 6th sense that is, it's the intuition, it's your gut feeling. Yeah, you can't quantify it on paper with the tools that we've been given in our Western world, our scientifically, technologically run world. You can't quantify that feeling, but it's still valid regardless of whether it's quantified, regardless of whether it's measured. It is absolutely valid. And if you're honest with yourself, the moon, right? If you're honest with yourself, you know that. Okay, so this is you. This is how other people see you. Oh, wow. They see you with great opportunities, filled with love, surrounded by love. Ace of Cups. New love is coming to you. They must see something that you don't see. Perhaps it has to do with the relationship with this Leo here. But they see love. They see that this situation is good. Although it feels slow moving and it feels frustrating to you, it's actually good. Everyone around you sees it. And sometimes everybody can see things that we can't always. Your hopes and fears. Well, that's a good thing to be fearful of, is ruin. You've got the 10 of Swords in reverse. 10 of Swords is ruin. This is of a mental energy. So this is being mentally, that's this energy actually, overly analytical, overly critical. That energy is the very thing that can ruin things. So the thing that you rely on the most, analysis, analyzing, figuring things out, I mean, that's your thing, right? Sometimes that can actually be the ruin, because if it's constantly going around in your head over and over and over again, you're not getting anywhere. You're not accomplishing anything. And you're missing out on a 6th sense that's very, very important. Okay? Final outcome was defeat. I'm sorry. Well, we'll get some clarification on that. It's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? Let's see what the bottom of the deck said. The Star card in reverse. Hey. Be sure, now this is an unusual thing to ask of a Virgo, but be sure you're taking care of your health as you're dealing with all of this. There might be some stress related to this mental energy that's getting to you, but I'm going to get some clarification here. I'm going to use the Norse runes. Holy Hecate, Cosmic Soul. What is the defeat card about? What does that mean? Bjork in the reverse. Bjork is the pregnancy card. Are you pregnant? I mean, pregnancy rune and other things. So there's some kind of family problem or domestic trouble going on. If there's a business venture that's about to happen, you might want to hold off on it, because that. So here's why thoughts are very important here, and how they can be the ruin of a situation or a goal that you have. The Bjork rune, it means something. It's a very fertile. It always refers to pregnancy because it is a very fertile rune. It's indicative of things truly having the capacity to manifest. So again, this is malleable, free will. This is all dependent on your free will. You can make decisions accordingly. And the vibe that I'm getting here is to get out of your head. Trust a little bit more in your gut, in your instincts, in your intuition, because this fear, you're fearing fear, basically. The 10 of Swords is ruin. It is it's the end of a cycle. It's mental energy destroying something that could have been good. Let me see if the card depicts it here. Yeah. So, and also to note, it's all piercing a heart, just ruining something that's good. So this feels like a love relationship. as other people are seeing it as a love relationship, and you're overanalyzing this. You have it in reverse. This is the sun in Gemini. Gemini is also ruled by Mercury. Gemini is also one that thinks a lot and can think things to death. You're kind of the master of thinking things to death, though. You literally are called, they are called I think. Their motto is I think. Yours is I analyze. And you can overanalyze things because we're looking at two swords here. And this one is defeat, and I think it's a result of ruin. So, and Beork in reverse is indicating some kind of family or relationship problems. This feels like a love situation. And other people see it as being a good opportunity for love, but you're overanalyzing. You're overly critical. You're not going with your gut. And because Beork is such a fertile rune, if you continue to overanalyze and think negatively, think only in the three dimensions and the five senses, and not go with your heart and not go with your gut. I'm not saying be foolish. You know, don't ignore warning signs. But because this followed up your worst fears, I think you need to think this through with the third eye, not just the two eyes. I'm sorry that yours is going a really long time here, but give this some thought. Well, no, let me rephrase that. You're giving it a lot of thought. Give this some feeling. Give this some meditation. Give this some dreaming. Write down your dreams. Pray on it. Whatever it is that you do to make a connection with that's not ticking this off and analyzing this. And I hope that makes sense. Because that will be the defeat. That will be the cause of the defeat. So this is in your hands. Remember, thoughts are energy. Thoughts are things. Thoughts become things. So it's extraordinarily important that you choose your words and your thoughts very wisely. What are you spending your mental energy on? Okay? Yeah. You could be the person keeping yourself blindfolded. This could be you not seeing how things actually are. So before you make a big move about this relationship here, Virgo, I would recommend that you do whatever you do spiritually to connect with higher self and the collective unconscious, whether that's praying or meditating or dancing, just thinking in the shower, thinking, passively thinking while you're driving, staring into a candle flame, anything like that. It's really important that you give this some spiritual thought outside of your mental processes, the kind that feel much more than think. I hope this is making sense to someone. Okay, that's all that I have. I wish I had a happier outcome for you, but again, this is all up to you. So remember, choose your thoughts very carefully and what you expend your mental energy on. Maybe give this relationship a break mentally. Okay, Virgo, thank you very much for your time. I hope everything goes okay. Don't overanalyze. Trust a little bit, and not trust another person so much, but trust your gut, and listen to that instead of going through the typical analysis. Okay, thanks, Virgo.